everyone, welcome to Carrot Online Cafeteria. My name is Iris. Many of you probably have experienced some difficulties in trying to express your feelings and opinions exactly the way you want. Not only expressions like I'm happy, I'm fine, or I like it or I don't agree, and so on. Just like how you don't use big words when you have a conversation in Korean, we natives don't use big or complicated words when communicating with others in daily situations. But I know it wasn't necessarily too easy to use easy expressions for you because all you've done was studying for TOEFL or TOEIC or other English tests. So, in this session, we'll be learning some expressions that natives use in daily conversations that are also easy to learn and are useful. So, the topics we'll be covering in this session are how to express 1. Your understanding, 2. Your emotions, 3. Your ideas. In this lesson particularly, we'll be focusing on the expressions used when you have understood the other party's opinions or ideas well, and also when you can't comprehend them very well. Let's start the lesson. Are you ready to dig in? The 3 expressions I will be going through in this lesson are 1. Make sense, 2. Can tell, 3. The thing is. I'll repeat them one more time. The first one is make sense, the second one is can tell, and the last one is the thing is. Make sense. First, let's look at the example with this expression. A. This sentence doesn't make sense to me at all. There is no verb in it. Make sense? Can you guess what it might mean? Let's look at one more example. B. Why didn't you tell me that you were in a car accident? Now it makes sense to me why you were late yesterday. Do these examples make sense to you now? So now, let's look at what make sense means. It has 2 meanings. 1. Easy to understand. 2. Be a sensible and practical thing to do. So let's look at the first example again. The sentence doesn't make sense to me at all. There is no verb in it. In other words, the sentence is not easy to understand because there is no verb in it. And the second example says, now it makes sense to me why you were late yesterday. Meaning, now I understand why you were late yesterday. So these examples had the first meaning of make sense, which is easy to understand. Then, how about when you don't understand not an idea or things, but someone's opinions or conversation? You have to be careful with this. Remember, it doesn't make sense to me means I don't understand you. So, when you don't understand someone, you have to say, he doesn't make sense to me, not I don't make sense. I don't make sense actually means other people don't understand you. Or you can say, John wasn't making much sense on the phone. But there's another thing you have to be very careful with. Like I said before, he doesn't make sense means I don't understand what he is saying. So this expression makes sense is usually used indirectly, but not directly. One more time. This expression makes sense is usually used indirectly, but not directly. Meaning, for example, when you're having a conversation with someone and you don't understand him or her, you shouldn't say, you don't make sense to me. I mean, you could say it directly, but it would be very rude when you say this directly. The second meaning of make sense is to be a sensible or practical thing to do. Let's look at the example. C. It makes sense to buy a house now because prices will go up soon. In this sentence, it means to buy a house now. You know, in English, we put it first and explain or describe this it afterwards, like in this sentence. Also, let's look at short conversation using make sense. So this means that it is a reasonable or practical thing that she got promoted because she's been working so hard. So let's look at the second expression, can tell. You may think you know what this expression means. You probably have heard sentences like, I can tell you a secret, and know what that means, right? This means I am able to tell you a secret because I trust you. However, this expression can tell, which we'll be focusing on today, has a little bit different meaning from what we know. Let's look at some examples first. A. I can tell that you have put a lot of effort in this project. Well done. B. I changed the color of the door yesterday. It was dark brown before, but it is lighter now. Can you tell the difference? So, let's look at what it means now. Can tell means be able to notice or distinguish. So, in the first example, it says, I can tell that you have put a lot of effort in this project. Well done. It means I can notice that you put a lot of effort in this project. And the second example, it says, I changed the color of the door yesterday. Can you tell the difference? This means I changed the color of the door yesterday. Can you notice or distinguish the difference? So, then how can you tell the difference if can tell means literally be able to tell someone or something, or can notice or distinguish? One thing you have to be very careful is whether there is an object after tell or not. Meaning, if I say, I can tell you the difference, it means I'm able to tell you the difference. However, if I say, I can tell the difference between them, means I can notice or distinguish the difference between them. So, if there's an object like you, me, or him or her, then it is the first meaning. But if there is no object after tell, then it is the second meaning. Understand? Then, let me test you if you really understood this. Can you tell the difference what was changed from before? If your answer was something like, yes, I can, the color of your shirt has changed, then you understood this expression correctly. In this situation, you can say, I can tell you changed your jacket. You can also use be able to instead of can. So, for instance, were you able to tell she made a mistake? She told me that she made a mistake, but I wasn't able to tell if she did or not. You can say, I wasn't able to tell, or am able to tell. Okay, so let's look at the last expression for this lesson. The thing is. Let's look at some examples first. A. I talked to my client on the phone yesterday about the project. But the thing is, it was really hard to understand what he was saying because he was talking so fast. In this example, the thing is used when you want to introduce an important fact, reason, or explanation. In other words, the expression the thing is almost same as the problem is or the important thing is. So, you can also say, thank you for your offer, but the thing is, I'm moving tomorrow. So now that you know what it means, we can be a little more creative with this expression, right? We can also say, the thing with something or someone is, or the thing about something or someone is. So, for example, the thing with John is that he's always unhappy with himself. This is like saying, the problem with John is that he's always unhappy with himself. Or you can say, the thing about Tori's idea is that it doesn't make sense. Do you get it? That means the problem about Tori's idea is that it's not easy to understand. Okay, so now, let's review what we've covered today. Do you remember all of them? What was the first expression? Makes sense, right? We use the expression makes sense to indicate that either you have understood or you have not understood some ideas. So we use the examples like, this sentence doesn't make sense to me at all. There's no verb in it. Why didn't you tell me that you were in a car accident? Now it makes sense to me why you were late yesterday. Also, if you want to say that someone is very hard to understand, what can you say? John wasn't making much sense on the phone. Or Chris didn't make sense when he was making a speech. And make sense has another meaning, which is be a sensible and practical thing to do. So, we said it makes sense to buy a house now because prices will go up soon. And the next expression was can tell, right? It means be able to notice or distinguish. I can tell that you have put a lot of effort in this project. Well done. I changed the color of the door yesterday. It was dark brown before, but it is lighter now. Can you tell the difference? And you can also use be able to instead of can. Like, I wasn't able to tell the difference. And the very last expression is used when you want to say or introduce something important or a problem. Do you remember what it was? Yes, the thing is, let's look at some examples. I talked to my client on the phone yesterday about the project. But the thing is, it was really hard to understand what he was saying because he was talking so fast. Thank you for your offer, but the thing is, I'm moving next month. And if you want to say something important or a problem about something or someone, then you can say, the thing with John is that he's always unhappy with himself. Or, the thing about Tori's idea is that it doesn't make sense. So, these are the 3 expressions that we have covered today. So, when you don't understand someone or something, you can say, it doesn't make sense to me. Or, it makes sense to me when you do understand something. And if you agree that you can notice something, you can say, I can tell that you changed your hairstyle. And lastly, if you want to indicate something important or a problem, you can say, the thing is, I don't like that food. For the next lesson, we'll be focusing on expressing your emotions or feelings in these situations, like when you're happy, sad, and annoyed. Alright? Then see you next time. Bye!